Welcome to this replay in the WZ-111. The tank in this match is played by Maroar, and we're on Serene Coast to see what he can do in this Chinese tier 9 heavy tank. Now Maroar in this replay is clanless, but by now I saw yesterday he's back in Fame after having been in Santi, as you can see in the last replay. And he told me he really liked the WZ. And for him it might actually be a keeper, and I can certainly see why. He's typing here and driving into a rock, which is nothing wrong with the tank, it's just his driving. But yeah, he's complaining about the light tanks being at the back and not doing any spotting, which for the VK 2801 is actually valid, but the SP1C is not really a scout tank. If you play it well, because the spotting range isn't that good. The camo is quite nice, but yeah, it's too tall and too slow to be an initial spotter. So it's better with that tank to actually hang back a little and use the fantastic autoloader to put 900 damage into enemies where they're not paying attention. At least that's how I played, and I've got really good stats in it. So, but there's a good chance that the SP1C on Maroar's team is just camping there because it worked in tier 1 and it will work in tier 9. So we can see that Maroar's team on this side is just a Tiger and a T34 with its super Pershing at the back, and he's up against a tier 9 T10 and this Oho, which apparently has got really good armor on this Cupolas. Or at least in this match. So Maroar put a shot in, but it did nothing. And then he decides to load heat to try and put some damage into this guy, because he doesn't like dinging for no reason. So he's just taking care to not lose any HP. He dings off the front flat turret of the Oho, good reasons. And then his, let's check. Can't really see what's the heat penetration. Oh, it doesn't actually want to click, but the massive heat penetration dings off the front of an IS turret because, yeah, Russian tank. So his team is melting a little bit. T34 actually died, and now Maroar aims for the other turret with regular ammo, and then the shot penetrates. So yeah, a consistent armor match. So his team on the other flank is pretty much dying. Well, has died. The last guy, the T30, actually died now. So yeah, the enemy team controls the left flank while Maroar is trying to control the right flank. And now the shot with regular ammo straight through front of the IS turret. So yeah. There's this TVU over here and the T25-2 at the back, so Maroar snaps a shot in. And the nice thing about this tank is that it's got a 130mm gun. In pretty much most respects, it's really similar to the E75, although this tank is slightly better mobility-wise and aiming stat-wise. So this gun, 130mm, actually seems to behave better on this tank, tier 9 tank, than it does on the IS-7 tank. So that's a little bit interesting, but it's a really nice gun. Maroar unfortunately waited slightly too long with the shot. He might have hit it over the rock, but he certainly can't shoot through the rock. So now there's a T69 in the base, and there's 2 heavy tanks and the Tiger 88, but the Tiger is pretty much a one-shot, and I don't know what actually fired at Maroar, because I don't think he was he spotted? I can't remember exactly, but in the first time I watched this replay I was quite surprised. I thought it was his friendly team actually firing there rather than the enemy's RT. But this T69 makes a mistake. He thinks the Tiger is alone and he pays for it. So yeah, never blatantly rush a low health enemy tank unless you're absolutely certain that he hasn't got backup. So now the only thing left in the base is this T54 Mod 1. The Russian premium tank, which is actually better than the regular one, much better than the T-44. It's got pretty much the same gun. It might have some slightly different terrain values, but the armor is way better, so that instantly makes it a better tank. So now, after having cleared the base and his team having pushed a hull down T-95 because reasons and all died, so yeah, well done team. Maroar decides to move back to the right flank. He's still got all his HP left, which is a massive advantage at this point in the game. If you save your HP for later on in the match, you actually have something to trade with the enemy. Because if you're a one-shot or a two-shot, you have to play a lot more passive than you would like in this kind of engagement. T-95 was actually stupid enough to move up. So yeah, VK puts a really nice shot into him. VK is behind a rock, so that should be good. But he is shot by the TVP VTU without the TVP being spotted. So that was quite of an interesting moment in this replay. I didn't expect that. But Maroar wants to get eyes on this T-95. Someone else spots him, but then he spots the TVP, which is actually over here. So I was really surprised that he actually managed to hit the VK, because I thought he was behind that rock, but apparently not. So Maroar makes a move for this guy, can't hang back now, puts a nice shot in. TVP obviously bounces. The armor of this tank is also really quite effective if you use it well with the pike nose. The advantage of the pike nose being that it is pre-angled armor, so don't try to angle it towards the enemy, just drive straight on. Although the armor of this tank is slightly weaker than the E-75's armor, but then again the E-75 has got really good armor. So Maroar is seeing what he can spot here, but he can spot nothing but get spotted in return. We saw a bush fall or a tree falling over there, so we know that at least one of the TVs actually is trying to spot Maroar from there. So Maroar pulls back and then tries to use this bush to spot the T-25. T-25 gets spotted straight through cover, and this is one of the really stupid inconsistent things in World of Tanks. Camouflage factors of trees. Tiger is shotgunned by the arty, by the way, but trees provide camouflage, but they only provide partial camouflage, even if your tank is fully covered. But the same goes for various sizes of bushes. They provide different camo values, but those values obviously are published nowhere, so there's no way for you to know if a bush actually provides proper camouflage or it doesn't. And this was changed. Really nice shot here, by the way, to track the T-95 and get around him. But the camouflage mechanics was changed because noobs complained too much that they got shot by invisible TVs. So yeah, instead of fixing the problem, Wargaming tried to fix it with the camouflage mechanics and actually fucked things up for everyone. The light tanks are now screwed as well. But yeah, so no way to know how much camouflage a bush provides, and now Maroar has got this T-95 here, but then the R team decides to do a hero move. And while that kind of stuff might work on a tomato tiger, it doesn't against a competent player, so that R team would have been better off to take a bit of range and then engage Maroar. But he decided to come around the corner without actually being aimed and didn't get a shot on Maroar, so Maroar killed him. Maroar up to 5,800 damage and 6 kills already, so now there's just one arty left. He did carry this game quite a lot. And now let's see if he can actually get the arty to get a really nice end of the game, and he does. So yeah, really nice match by Maroar in the Chinese Tier 9 tank, the WZ-111 6,100 damage, as well as a high caliber and a top gun, 1,469 basic speed. So all in all, a really good match. I think displaying the really good characteristics of this tank really well, and some really smart play in preserving his HP early on and trading it later on with the enemy. So yeah, If you like the replay, feel free to subscribe to the channel, rate the replay, and see you guys next time.